Well, as you can see, we're rolling right along to get things started off. So are you all set?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Let's meet our first challenger. Will you enter and sign in, please? Gary Thompson. Gary, where are you from?
Chicago, Illinois.
All right, panel, Gary Thompson deals with a product. Now, the product is actually worth less than $100, but people sometimes spend much, much more to get it. Now let's show the audience just what this product is. It's worth a little less than $100, and people sometimes spend more than that to get it. We'll begin the questioning with Arlene.
With me, did you
Yes,
say?
ma'am.
Oh, excuse me. I was thinking about what I'd pay more than $100 for. Is this something that one might get as a reward?
Yes.
Is it something that might be in the form of either a medal or a statuette?
Yes.
Well, the only thing I can think of is something that you might have as a, perhaps an Oscar or a Tony or...
That's it.
Yes.
Worth less than $100? Very good. And you know, Gary, well, first let me say this. Mr. Thompson is the Executive Vice President of Dodge Trophies, who make the Oscars. But for our audience, this was a classic case of how Arlene got this, and I think I know, but I want you to tell them.
No, the only way I know about, or what I think of it, is that an Oscar doesn't cost so much to make, but an actress or an actor or a performer has to spend many years and spend a great deal of money in accomplishing the height of his talents in order to win one. Is that what you meant by that?
Well, and I think also the fact that you yourself would pay more than $100 for one.
Only if I earned it.
No, but I mean, I think, didn't you eliminate
Yes.
many things in your mind, as you said when you first began?
Yes.
I was trying to think of what I would pay more than $100 for. Yes, Joanna?
Well, as a member of the Academy, I don't think too many people know it, but if an actor or an actress who has won an Oscar falls upon hard times, they can sort of redeem it at the Academy for an amount of money. The Academy doesn't want them hawking them in hawk shops or something, so they'll help you out.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know
I
this.
think you should have Mr. Thompson explain how the trophy got the name of Oscar.
All right. Mr. Thompson?
This was originated by a relative of a woman who now works for the Academy, and they were just thinking of some kind of a name for it, and this man happened to mention it looks like my Uncle Oscar, and that's how the name came about.
I was under the impression that it was Betty Davis who had named
No,
it.
I don't know.
Well, how long have you been making Oscars?
Since 1929.
Since the very
And
first
that's the
one.
inception of it, correct.
Well, has it changed or remained pretty much the same?
No, the design has remained the same.
I think it's interesting. You know how the original design came about?
It was designed on a tablecloth in 1929, and the tablecloth was taken from the restaurant and given to a sculptor, and he's the one who did the sculpturing on it.
And
Right off the tablecloth.
Who was the first winner of the Oscar?
well, the first female winner of the Oscar was Janet Gaynor. And she won for 3 movies, which the awards were given a little bit differently at that time. Seventh Heaven was one of them, and 2 other movies that were also produced within the same year, which I do not recall. Do you recall, Gary? But she was the first female. I think there were 15 awards given the first year. Yes, Gene?
I believe it was Conrad Nagel whose idea
Yes.
it was
Yes.
originally
Yes,
to
that's
start the
correct.
whole thing.
That's right. Conrad
That's
Nagel was
correct.
one of the founders of the Academy, along
Yes.
with about 10 other
No.
gentlemen of the film industry. But perhaps he conceived the idea.
No, it was he
Yes.
and one other. He and one other.
But you know, very few of us have an opportunity to... Oh, but I want to ask one other thing first. You've made a mistake, I know, on one occasion, on
Just
the Oscars.
one, and I
Would you
wish you
tell the
wouldn't have
panel
said
about it?
that.
I think they'll enjoy it.
Spencer Tracy's was engraved Dick Tracy.
But since so few of us ever have an opportunity to see an Oscar close up, we have one here which we're going to take a look at. And, oh, you know, they're really quite heavy. They weigh about 10 pounds.
What are they made of?
And here is the Oscar.
It's a special metal which is very heavily plated. It's Britannia metal.
And it is gold-plated, then, of course.
Yes, it is. Very
But, you
heavily
know,
gold-plated.
for those of us who have never really been that close up to one, and perhaps you could see with a close-up on the camera, that the statue is actually standing on a reel of film. And then, of course, it is a stalwart type of person, and he's holding a sword. He's holding the hilt of the sword with his hands, and the point of the sword rests between his toes. And this is supposed to be the Crusader's sword. And the Oscar supposedly represents a crusading film industry that can bring about technological and educational developments through the use of motion pictures. So that's how it was originally conceived, and it is beautiful. Why don't you take this with you, Gary? And I don't think I've earned one yet. I'm sure the panel would like to get a closer-up view of it, and we enjoyed having you on What's My Line.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.